Story 1. It is both performance and real. Performance is at the heart of everything these people do. But that does not make it any less real. There is no substantive difference between performance and reality for these individuals, especially for Donald Trump, but also to a lesser extent for Elon Musk. Neither of them determine what they say based on what is accurate or productive. They determine what they say based on the brand image they are trying to create for themselves and how they imagine their statements will influence the intended audience in terms of tribal dynamics. This does not mean it is a coordinated performance. Each man orchestrates his own performance according to his perceived self-interest. Story 2. You do not call a person out for being on the Epstein list if you are performing and Donald Trump is involved. There is no way Donald Trump wants anything to do with that. Story 3. Is Elon Musk foolish enough to believe that Donald Trump will remember at 4 a.m. that it is just a performance and not get upset that he was called out? Story 4. They are both greedy, petulant children throwing tantrums because each did not get what he wanted. The only acting they are doing is acting totally in character. Story 5. It is not. Tesla stock declined significantly. The general public now recognizes that there is a very real chance former President Donald Trump is involved in serious allegations. The Better Business Bureau is also suffering in the process. The performance theory is Make America Great Again denial, trying to frame it as some complex strategy. Story 6. This is how far we have fallen down the rabbit hole when something that was completely and totally predictable is being called out as not real. Story 7. The only thing I can think of is how many hours it has been since the Palantir database contract was announced. How else do you distract from a full nationwide database during an authoritarian regime growing? That is terrifying, but most are focused on this. So it is probably distracting from that, and because I do not mind the humor in this, I get a feeling it is like a poor version of the Chinese flower campaign. And Elon is being betrayed. Just my 2 cents. I served in the United States Army and was born in communist Romania. I heard stories of similar things at the top, but the immense police state between him and you causes people to disappear. Story 8. I do not think so, because once you accuse Donald Trump of being a friend of Jeffrey Epstein, there is no going back. They are both totally obsessed with money far more than their concern for humanity. Story 9. Definitely not. Their relationship was bound to blow up. Elon Musk was disliked by Republicans, including Trump's cabinet. They understood that Elon was actively dragging down Trump's popularity. Not to mention that Trump and Elon had conflicts before. Elon's ego, combined with the common autistic trait of taking things extremely seriously when wronged, which he has demonstrated multiple times, meant that when he was eventually pushed out, he would react strongly. Story 10. It was my gut reaction, but I have become a very cynical person, so I do not trust my gut reaction as much as I once did. Story 11. As ill-conceived as this already is, if it is a performance, it is a poor one. Let's review the points. 1. Elon Musk implies he has read the Epstein files and that Donald Trump is included in them. This suggests he also admits that he willingly worked with a PDF file and kept their secret until it cost him money. 2. Elon Musk, while as the head of Dogecoin, removed thousands of people from tax-funded assistance. Then, when a budget reduced tax credits for electric vehicles and allocated less money to his business ventures, essentially doing to him what he did to others, he reacted negatively. 3. Donald Trump either has to sue Elon Musk for defamation or release the Epstein files. Failure to do either damages his reputation. For Elon Musk lost more money today than nearly anyone in history and remains the richest man in the world. If this is all just a performance, Elon Musk has labeled himself an opportunistic sex crime apologist, and Donald Trump has once again distanced himself from a disastrous staffing decision. All for what benefit? If they wanted to release the files, Trump, as former president of the United States, can declassify them and publish them immediately and does not require a performance. If they are trying to distract from something else, this is likely the worst way to do so, because surely something like World War III would not be as damaging to their social standing with the public. Story 12. Extremely high. It is being widely broadcast, which means intelligence is supportive. Both sides have a vested interest in publicly separating from each other, with the actual ability to press on the levers without hurting themselves. Story 13. I think it is important to remember that many other members of the Republican Party and wealthy elites are involved in the attempt to dismantle our democracy and selfishly accumulate more money and power, not just Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Story 14. We all knew it was coming, but it happened so quickly that I still doubted it was the real deal. Now they have gone and publicly thrown down. With how fragile both their egos are, I cannot imagine it being fake. Neither would ever be able to emotionally handle those kinds of insults or threats being tossed around, even if it was pretend. Story 15. It is not performance. They are emotionally involved. But it is not truth, as they do not really believe in anything they say. They simply do not care about reality. They can be friends again in 2 weeks. Unlikely but not impossible. Story 16. My conspiracy, 100%. This was all a performance by Elon Musk and Mike Vance. Musk teamed up with Republicans and Vance to gain power, knowing Donald Trump would be willing to do whatever it takes to get elected. Once in power, they had a falling out, exposed Trump, and got him removed, putting Vance as president and a puppet for Musk. Story 17. If it is a performance, they are doing a terrible job making it look coordinated. It feels more like two egos clashing now that they cannot use each other anymore. Story 18. The worst-case scenario is that it is all a ploy, opening the door to send Elon Musk and all our information to Russia. These people are con men, and Donald Trump is a Russian asset. Story 19. If supporters of former President Donald Trump turn against Elon Musk and start to damage Tesla vehicles, will the United States Department of Justice prosecute them as terrorists, as they are doing for a few left-leaning individuals who committed similar acts? Asking for a friend. Story 20. I think the idea that it is all a facade or a plan comes from Russian and Chinese trollbot profiles. Each time you see a post saying, "It is all fake," check the profile. Story 21. It is a professional wrestling formula fight. Allies turn on each other, then backstab each other's supporters when they make up. Story 22. I'm from the United Kingdom, so I might not have the best perspective and could easily believe this is fragile egos of narcissists colliding rather than a show. However, part of me thinks this is a planned effort to get JD Vance into power. I have seen Elon Musk repost someone calling to impeach Donald Trump and put JD Vance in charge. I also believe JD Vance is more corrupt and malevolent, which would make sense if they are trying to bring him into full control, as he would be easily manipulated and act as they want him to in public. For now, let's consider it a personal conflict. That seems like the better and more entertaining explanation. Story 23. Quite likely. It does not change anything about my opinions of either of them. Hopefully, one overspeaks and reveals too much in their play acting. Story 24. They are not that clever. Donald Trump is not a Machiavellian genius. He is just a monkey pushing whatever button appears in front of his face. Elon Musk is slightly smarter, but only enough to sound like he knows what he is talking about. Story 25. I think it is more likely that people who believe this is a performance with some sort of long-term plan are delusional cult members trying to cope with their cognitive dissonance. Story 26. Not a chance. Two narcissists are butting heads. That's all there is to it. This is not five-dimensional chess. There is no secret objective here. This is all just about feelings. Elon failed in Wisconsin, where it was shown that people dislike Elon more than his money can help. This took away Elon's status as Donald Trump's attack dog, which made the controversies Elon kept creating more harmful than helpful for Trump. Trump distanced himself from Elon hard after that. Then their relationship started falling apart because Elon's popularity and net worth have been tanking due to all this. And what did Elon win for bleeding out money for Trump? Trump wrote him out of the budget. Plain and simple, this is a narcissist fight. I sincerely believe that if Elon had been successful in Wisconsin, his subsidies would have been in the spending bill. For the past month, it has been well reported that Elon has been having shouting matches with Trump's administration over the spending bill. Then that bruise appeared on his face, and we can be sure that the bruise didn't come from his toddler. People who feel like this feud just started yesterday have not been paying attention. It started after losing Wisconsin. Story 27. It is real, totally unsurprising, and in line with all immature and ridiculous events that have been happening these last months. Things that could be a killer joke back in normal times are happening. It is almost laughable, almost. It is really sad. Story 28. There is no four-dimensional chess happening here. This is just two of the world's biggest narcissists duking it out. Want actual proof that it is not performative? Just look at the tweet history of both men. They pick public tweet fights with celebrities and gamer influencers. This is par for the course. Story 29. I would find it hard to believe either of them could handle criticism from the other, as both are extremely thin-skinned. Story 30. 0% chance. The same people saying this is all an act to own the liberals are the same people who said anti-fascist dressed like Make America Great Again stormed the Capitol on January 6th. Story 31. Do you think Donald Trump's ego would ever allow someone to speak badly about him, especially suggesting he is a pedophile, even if it was for his own benefit? Story 32. When I see noise like this, I immediately think, what else is happening in the world they are desperate to distract our attention from? It seems very performative, especially from a president. Story 33. I don't think it's staged for two reasons. One, it is costing Elon Musk billions. Tesla's stock, which is where most of his money is, took a huge hit today. Why would he ever agree to play along? Secondly, I don't think either of them is competent enough to pull it off. Story 34. Not a performance. Tesla stock crash is not a performance. Disagreeing with Donald Trump shows no respect. Donald Trump cannot have insubordination. This is not a performance. Story 35. All these logical explanations for Donald Trump's behavior are just people projecting their own intelligence and sanity onto him. The Russians have blackmail material on Trump. Trump is crashing the market to profit from it. The fights are staged. All too logical. The answer is simpler. Trump is an incurious, semi-literate narcissist, thoroughly manipulated by Russia and the far right, with clear signs of cognitive decline. Many high-ranking conservative members of his cabinet have stated this. There is no need to look for hidden schemes. Right now, Trump broke up with his associate Elon Musk and is throwing a tantrum that will further accelerate the decline of the United States space program. This is yet another pillar of U.S. hegemony dismantled in a few short months, with no resistance from the so-called establishment. Story 36. Exceedingly unlikely. Donald Trump is a malignant narcissist. There is no way he is going to agree to play a part in something that makes him look bad. Story 37. Regardless of the outcome, the feud between Donald Trump and Elon Musk shows that Donald Trump is not invincible. Donald Trump yells at Supreme Court justices and orders families to be dragged by the hair without a mandate. He has positioned himself as a supreme leader, but the conflict with Elon Musk reveals that Donald Trump is a mere mortal, something he tries to hide in his narcissistic rage. Furthermore, supporters of Donald Trump are very simple-minded and will not let this go anytime soon. They will hold a fierce grudge against Elon Musk and all of his businesses for a long time. This is not a complex strategic move. Story 38. I do not hold Elon Musk or Donald Trump in high enough esteem to think they are playing four-dimensional chess. This exactly matches both of their petty personalities, which we have seen on display countless times before. Story 39. I think the only performance aspect of this is Elon Musk pretending he has any actual problem with anything Donald Trump was doing. He is just trying to ditch Donald Trump to salvage his own shattered reputation, but his brain is too affected by ketamine to have any kind of understanding of how badly he is actually perceived, and that this will not save him. Story 40. I think it is hard for humans to accept the universe as the beautifully chaotic phenomenon that it is, and we try to find meaning, patterns, and reasons for everything. Despite their wealth and success, Donald Trump and Elon Musk are not capable of complex strategic thinking. Story 41. The only thing I hope comes out of this is that in his ketamine-fueled tantrum, Elon Musk accidentally reveals a major confession about himself. Two birds, one stone. Story 42. None whatsoever. Donald Trump had Elon Musk among his right-wing insider associates, and they were arguing in meetings. Musk wanted to control Donald Trump like a puppet because he cannot legally be the president. Story 43. Does it really matter? These people have no shame, integrity, or morals. Look at how many people said Donald Trump was literally Satan and then just rolled over when it was to their personal benefit. They will just kiss and make up when it serves their purposes. Story 44. Recent history has shown us that Donald Trump does not really do performance. He performs well, but he follows through. He does not threaten to do things just to get a reaction. He threatens to do things and then does them to get a reaction. Recent history has also shown us that when Elon Musk does perform, he is really bad at it. His Twitter purchase was an attempt at trolling gone wrong when he found out he could go to prison if he tried to pull out of the deal. It's just a performance, is just rationalization from followers who do not understand why the two narcissistic individuals they have been admiring for the last year are now fighting like toddlers. Story 45. The issues that Elon Musk is upset about are public and documented. Elon Musk spent several $100 million helping Donald Trump get elected. This is a fact and was very public. Musk's strategy of leveraging his relationship with Trump to secure favorable agreements for Tesla and SpaceX conflicted with Trump's agenda regarding climate change. Instead of maintaining rebates and incentives for people to buy electric vehicles, Trump wants to eliminate them and impose an annual fee for owning an electric vehicle. This is like making a deal with a vegan to help win an election and, in return, instead of promoting vegan ideals, they subsidize meat producers and introduce a tax on any prepared meal that does not include meat. If you think Musk is anything other than genuinely angry, you may not be paying close attention. Story 46. No, they are going way too hard for that to be the case. Exposing Donald Trump being in the Epstein files in a way his followers might actually believe is not something they would do as performance. Story 47. It is more likely that everything falls apart and many people go to jail because Elon is nothing more than a crazy ex-girlfriend. Remember, crazy ex-girlfriends are like a box of chocolates, they might harm your dog. Story 48. Does not matter in the slightest. Donald Trump is a fascist intent on stealing absolute power. Elon Musk supported a fascist intent on stealing absolute power. They are both trash. If they are fighting each other and it hampers their plans or accelerates their demise, great. Until the threat is gone, we keep fighting and pushing back. Story 49. I do not think Donald Trump is smart enough for such a charade. B. The tone and topic of the quarrel fit both of their insecurities perfectly. Therefore, applying Occam's razor here, they are actually angry at each other. Story 50. The chance of two billionaire egotists with their own social media platforms somehow deciding to troll us for the laughs is infinitesimally small. Story 51. Anytime you suspect that Donald Trump is not as unintelligent as he appears and is playing four-dimensional chess, you are mistaken. Story 52. They needed to find trillions in revenue to pass these extreme tax cuts following the 2017 tax cuts. Musk is not acting. If passed, they will collapse the economy. Elon probably thought he could just starve a few million Africans and find $1 trillion. Trump believed tariffs would generate trillions, along with other countries paying bribes for the privilege of exporting to the United States. They were very wrong. Now they have no new revenue, and if the Senate actually passes that bill, Musk will get credit for what comes after. He wants no part in it, and Trump is simply too uninformed to understand why. Story 53. I was wondering if this was a distraction for something terrible they might be planning, but I doubt either of them is that smart. Story 54. Trump can do anything terrible and people will say it is a lie. They have often said he could shoot someone in Times Square. Well, instead it was Butler, Pennsylvania, and they made him a hero for it. They painted murals of it. But a father lost his life that day. No one talks about that. Story 55. I think it is both. Two narcissists were never going to survive being in close proximity, and it is a little convenient that a few days ago the United States had to buy $10 billion of its own debt. Everyone's spending power just took a huge hit, and now all the news can cover is the tangerine tantrum. Story 56. It is a clever strategy to have the liberals demand the Epstein files be released and undermine their fearless leaders. Story 57. Many people really need to stop thinking these individuals are smart, and the foolish actions they take are strategic. Story 58. Donald Trump enjoys world wrestling entertainment. He frequently creates misleading headlines. While I do not believe this is the case currently, it remains possible. Story 59. I said it is a performance. My wife reminded me that even if it is, Elon Musk has a large conservative following. So while the left knows Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, maybe the right does not see that, and Elon Musk saying something obvious might actually get through to them. It is clearly some distraction or whatever. Nothing will come of it. He is trying to do damage control on his image, and people like Ro Khanna are taking the bait. Story 60. I thought that until Elon made the comment about the Epstein files. That is a bridge too far for just performance art. If it is true, it is a really bad revelation for Donald Trump. If it is false, Elon looks infantile, petty, and could legally be on the hook for slander. Story 61. Everything these individuals do is a performance. Once you stop focusing on what they say and start observing what actually happens, it becomes much clearer. Story 62. Whether it is intentional or not, this is a distraction from the fact that Donald Trump is not fulfilling his promises. What happened to the 200 countries lined up to make a deal? Tariffs. More flip-flops than a beachfront store. Deportation rate of illegal immigrants lower than under President Biden. Jobless rate rising. Dogecoin is a complete failure to generate any notable savings. Billions lost due to less travel to the United States and boycott of goods. And the list goes on. Story 63. I thought the same, but then Elon dropped the Epstein comment. Now Donald Trump is telling his base that he was lying to them and it was actually a Nazi salute. No way this is real. Story 64. It is both performative and real. They are performing for their base, but it is not coordinated between them. Donald Trump would never say, "Yes, use the Epstein card." Story 65. Elon Musk wants his stock price to increase and believes that if he shows everyone he is done with Donald Trump, they will forget they dislike him. Story 66. It is absolutely theatrics. We've seen this with Real Housewives. When you get too many narcissistic people in a room, this stuff inevitably happens. Could they both be in on it for market manipulation? Good chance. Could it be real? Good chance. Will it be entertaining? Hell yes. I think they are both out for self-interest and were from day one. I think Donnie just came around to noticing with help, as others in his circle probably finally made a big issue about Dogecoin and all the court filings and got jealous. Elon Musk was already starting to pull back. Now, if this was the cause and it is just now coming out, who knows? Story 67. Of course it is. They are trying to deflect attention while they do something illegal to avoid getting caught. Same old playbook. Story 68. All the right-wing drama is smoke and mirrors for what is going on in the United States Congress, the Supreme Court of the United States, the Department of Justice, and the Department of Homeland Security. Project 2025 is the goal. The two individuals playing main characters are just puppets. Story 69. I absolutely thought the same thing until Elon Musk called out Donald Trump for the Jeffrey Epstein issue. There is no coming back from that one. Story 70. That is what some Make America Great Again supporters say to each other to help them cope with the rift between their dear leaders. For the normal human being, it is just the expected fallout between two narcissists who think the world is their oyster. Story 71. I think it is pretty clear that it is exactly what it looks like. This is not remotely good press, and it is not going to make liberals suddenly buy Tesla vehicles again. There is nothing to be gained from either of them publicly breaking up. It just shows how fragile, senile, and insane they are. Story 72. All fights on media platforms are performances. Do I think they are staging the whole thing? No. For one thing, Trump and his people are not that smart. People keep thinking they are playing some deeper chess, and they also thought that during his first term, but it has never turned out to be true. There is no deeper layer to Trump or his administration. There is no gain in this, at least that I can see, for either party. Tesla and Space Exploration Technologies Corporation are still shedding value like trees in fall, and Trump gains nothing in terms of benefit from having the bill undermined or being alleged in the Epstein files unless they really think any press is good press. Story 73. Are they putting on a show for views? Yes. Are they two men with massive egos who were bound to conflict with each other and whose alliance of convenience was doomed from the start? Also yes. Story 74. I would say if it is meant to be so, then it is doing a great job of consuming airtime and internet space that should be focused on the dystopian situation involving Peter Thiel and Palantir. If they wanted to distract people from the techno-fascist environment they are creating, this is the kind of provocation you would expect to do the trick, timed perfectly for when some people were beginning to wake up to that urgent crisis. It is unfortunate that it is genuinely difficult to determine how much of this regime's overwhelming messaging is genuine incompetence and ineptitude, and how much is orchestrated theater. What I do know is that if it is meant to be a distraction, you can bet Elon Musk and Donald Trump are not aware of the plan but simply tools of it. Their egos are too fragile and predictable for them to be actively involved in such nuance. They serve better as blunt instruments for that approach. Story 75. Sure, it is possible, but both these individuals have enormous egos. It is far more likely they got caught up in a competitive contest. Story 76. What would they gain from this performance? The exact same people hate them both, so feuding does nothing for their reputation except divide the people who already support them. It is a lose-lose situation no matter what. Not a single person who dislikes Elon will be converted into an ally from this. Story 77. A couple of months ago, my son asked me if I think things will return to normal once Donald Trump's 4 years are up. I responded that I have realized I understand much less about people in politics than I thought I did since Trump's re-election, and that I do not know where or how to even start making accurate observations, much less predictions, about the State of the Union. Having said that, it is human nature to try to understand and anticipate the motivations of one's leaders. I suspect some people are quite good at doing so, but often their voices get lost in the cacophony of opinions and forecasts. To sum up, I will refrain from opining what this situation is all about. There are too many possible factors to consider. Story 78. Neither of them is emotionally secure enough to tolerate being insulted as part of a scheme. They cannot handle it. Story 79. It does not really change anything. They were the enemy of the people before, and they are still the enemy of the people now. Story 80. I wonder a bit. If Donald Trump had withdrawn Dogecoin supporters from federal organizations, which should be a no-brainer if there is really an absence of faith in Elon Musk, or if Elon Musk had banned Donald Trump and his right-wing echo chamber from bullying people about the bill on Twitter, maybe I would think more that it is real. Story 81. I think it is more about two raging narcissists who cannot let go of the spotlight than a distraction from how dysfunctional our government is right now. Our government is dysfunctional right now, and we should not lose sight of that. Story 82. Very likely. The only thing that would change my view is if we see Donald Trump take concrete steps to deport Elon Musk, and not just say he is, and Elon Musk specifically releasing information on Donald Trump and banning him on Twitter, and not just claiming he is. If Twitter starts fact-checking again, in all likelihood, they will milk this performance past midterm elections. Story 83. 100% performance. Elon Musk is trying to reverse brand damage, and they can further their agendas more effectively apart. Donald Trump has tremendous power to hurt Elon Musk but will take no substantive action. The fight was disjointed and contrived. Only a moron or sociopath would not see through it. The Epstein comment contains no information that is not widely known. Both men have deep knowledge about each other yet trade superficial barbs. Elon Musk would never put his companies at so much risk for so little gain. Story 84. Why it looks staged. Both sides benefit from attention. Donald Trump thrives on being in the media cycle constantly, and Elon Musk benefits when engagement on X goes up. This fight is giving them both headline after headline. No fundamental ideological split. They are not fighting over something that would make them true long-term enemies, such as fundamentally opposite worldviews. Musk is criticizing Trump's spending bill, and Trump is retaliating personally, but their core political and business interests still largely align. History of transactional relationship. They have supported each other when it suited them and clashed when it was convenient before. There is no deep personal loyalty or animosity, more of a frenemy dynamic. Distracts from other problems. Trump is facing legal issues and legislative pushback. Musk is dealing with X's declining advertising revenue and ongoing controversies. A public spat pulls attention elsewhere. No private confirmation of real hostility. Usually, when powerful people really fall out, backchannel communications break down or insiders confirm it is personal. So far, there is no solid evidence this is more than performative. Story 85. I think it is a performance, but Donald Trump is not involved. Elon Musk realized that he accomplished all that he could with his direct involvement in government, and now his priority is to increase Tesla sales. He thinks if he starts publicly feuding with Donald Trump, everyone will forget his previous controversies and start buying his cars again. Story 86. It all started with a man who usually wears a full face of makeup, flaunting a black eye to every news outlet in the world from the West Wing, where there is a makeup team on duty every day. So yes, I would say it is staged. Linda McMahon did not get her job because she is an experienced educator. Story 87. I might have thought it was as fake as the assassination attempts, but when Elon Musk pulled the Jeffrey Epstein card, that is when I knew they did not come to play. Story 88. Unlikely. They are both too unintelligent to be consistent in acting, and this type of conflict is too common when malignant narcissists have to share territory. Story 89. I think Elon Musk is panicking because his wealth decreased. He probably thought he could encourage people to buy Tesla vehicles. Instead, he lost everything, and now his true nature is revealed. I hope no one forgets this. Leave him to face the consequences. Story 90. Trump has a lot of world wrestling entertainment experience and always acts like he is on a television show. This being a distraction from all the bad inflation that is about to hit seems about right. Story 91. It is very likely that it is. Keep in mind, Donald Trump loves drama, was a huge fan of World Wrestling Entertainment and World Wrestling Federation. He loves controlling and pulling the strings, and could possibly see this as the only route for Elon Musk to salvage his businesses. Musk has got to hit what appears to be rock bottom so that he can rise from the ashes. Trump is a firm believer that there is no such thing as bad publicity. Trump said it himself. He could shoot somebody in front of a live audience and his support would only grow. Story 92. I just said to my partner that I am not convinced they are not just doing it for the views. They are shameless. All they care about is that you are watching. It would be cool if it turns out to be real though. Story 93. It is very probable that artificial intelligence has just initiated the beginning of World War III. Soon, no one will be able to believe anything online anymore. Story 94. It is not a performance, but it is not real either. It is wrestling. Once things get stale, they will team up again. They have a common enemy. Us. What is certain is that neither of them is suddenly going to turn into a good guy. Story 95. Neither of them is smart enough to pull it off, and both are such egomaniacal narcissists they could not feign it even if they wanted to. Story 96. I think people need to stop trying to make everything into a conspiracy theory. There is no way it benefits the Republican Party for them to be fighting. Story 97. I am not ruling it out, but it is possible that it is legitimate, with Elon Musk also criticizing the bill that is currently being considered by the United States Senate. It cannot be a good look for any senator to support former President Donald Trump's bill when the phrase presidential pedophile is fresh in everyone's minds again. Story 98. I'm not following it closely, but this has been my theory all along. Elon Musk became upset when Tesla's board was reportedly considering replacing him. Since then, he has been seriously trying to undo the damage done to Tesla's reputation. Perhaps he believes that a public feud with Donald Trump would help. The disagreement escalated sharply and unexpectedly, possibly because neither side knows how to disagree calmly. Story 99. I doubt it. Tesla's stock was held aloft by the promise of innovation. Now, liberals, leftists, conservatives, and reactionary opponents all dislike Elon Musk and everything he is involved with. There is no upside and therefore no incentive. Story 100. Neither of them is smart enough or good enough actors to do it as a bit. Could still all get swept under the rug. Nothing ever happens, but it is genuine. Story 101. He will use the feud as an excuse to cancel the military birthday parade and claim that will save millions of taxpayer money. Story 102. How would either side benefit from this? Donald Trump said he forced out Elon Musk and would drop government contracts. That makes Elon Musk look bad and harms faith in his companies. Elon Musk said Donald Trump is in Epstein's files, Trump's bill would send us into a recession, and that Donald Trump would be impeached. How does either side benefit from this exchange? Story 103. I think it is equivalent to the last time you read Facebook and saw someone from your past openly have drama to show everyone that someone is right or wrong, stronger or weaker, for ego massaging. Twitter is not your diary, and it is as cute as it is embarrassing for you to fight in public, like arguing in a grocery store but with higher stakes. The bar is lowered and it shows a genuine lack of awareness. Story 104. Neither of these two people are literate or intelligent enough in social behavior to pull it off honestly. Unless, of course, they both agreed to just hate each other's guts. Then agreed to grit their teeth and smile a year from now to make up. But again, I think they are just too lacking in charisma and intellect to pull that off because they would never look past the hate. Story 105. Everyone forgot Elon knew Ghislaine Maxwell, the man who has been spending the past several months around a manic and unrestrained Donald. He absolutely knows more than the public, and he might know more than is even in the files, assuming they are complete and intact. This is public blackmail, and it is going to work. Story 106. I discount that notion completely. Elon Musk literally exposed Donald Trump for being in the Jeffrey Epstein files. This is a collision between two billionaire men with egos the size of Mount Everest. Some people predicted this was inevitable. Story 107. It is not impossible that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are performing some kind of scheme. However, I think it is highly improbable. Nothing in Musk or Trump's past behavior has convinced me that they are capable of multi-level scheming. Both have consistently demonstrated an inability to do so, and I do not believe they possess the necessary skills. Multi-level schemes require empathy skills to comprehend the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of the intended target, and to predict them accurately. I have seen no evidence that Musk or Trump possess those skills or consider them worth developing. Even in the unlikely event that this is a scheme, it will fail to succeed as they intend because they lack the talents necessary to predict people's actions. Story 108. It is both a performance and real. They perform characters and are not real humans. What is it called? Live action role-playing? Story 109. There is a simpler explanation for why two petulant, impulsive individuals are behaving this way than that they are incredibly bright and forward-thinking. Story 110. Beyond being the clearly inevitable result of two massive egos occupying the same room, this split is too large, too public, and too nasty to be fake. One of them has to win, and they will go scorched earth to do so. I personally really enjoy these two idiots savaging each other. Story 111. Maybe not intentionally because they have big egos, but I guarantee the whole situation serves their mutual interests. By that, I mean billionaires. Story 112. Can someone summarize this entire feud for me? I keep hearing about it, but when I search, I only find scattered news articles that are difficult to follow. Story 113. Possible, but the old adage about the simplest solution being correct probably applies. It is most likely Elon Musk does not like losing money. Tesla is struggling, its customer base is left-leaning, and he is trying to win them back. Story 114. It benefits each person to distance themselves from others. It is performance art, nothing more. Story 115. I was thinking performative, but I don't know why they are trying to flood the news. Is there any revelation coming out? Story 116. No. It is not like this situation is unexpected. It was always going to happen. The only question was how fast and in what way. Story 117. The idea that it is a performance is just classic right-wing coping. They always do this. No matter what happens, they just pretend it is part of some genius master plan. Story 118. It is performative to reform Elmo's image. It is not working. It will be real when there is something substantive. Trump and others have unilaterally closed departments, fired people, ended funding, and hampered multi-billion-dollar programs. Do not make fun of me or I will cut your funding is exactly what you need to know about how serious this is. He would not say it, he would just do it. If Elmo wanted, he could reveal actual information and flee to nearly any other country. But he is not really trying to hurt Trump either. Story 119. No way it is a performance. Neither has the discipline or emotional self-regulation to manage that. It was always going to end like this. Story 120. I said shortly after the inauguration that by the end of the year one of Donald Trump or Elon Musk would be dead mysteriously at the hands of the other, which may not be immediately provable, and that is looking even more likely now. Story 121. I thought it was definitely stock manipulation when it broke out yesterday, but I am not so sure after Elon Musk tweeted that the Trump tariffs will cause a recession later this year. Story 122. I think it is absolute insanity that people still think Donald Trump is playing four-dimensional chess. He is a narcissist and an idiot, and so is Elon Musk. This was always the most likely outcome of this relationship, which is why so many people predicted it. Not everything is a grand conspiracy. Story 123. Both of them love the spotlight. They know how to get people talking. And let's be real, drama equals clicks. Every tweet, every little jab fuels the news cycle and keeps both their names trending. Plus, they are not exactly strangers to playing both sides when it benefits them. 1 minute it is shade, the next it is mutual respect. Story 124. Definitely not from Donald Trump's side, but Elon Musk could be deluded to think that he can win back the respect of the progressives he has alienated if he attacks Donald Trump. Story 125. The chances of that are very slim. They are both immature individuals with no ability to self-regulate. It is like two toddlers in a sandbox, unaware and unconcerned that all the other children can see them throwing objects at each other. It was inevitable, and the only question was how long the two would last before it happened, and how entertaining and destructive the outcome would be. They are both incompetent. Story 126. No. What you are forgetting is that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are both unwise. They are not strategic geniuses. If a situation is more complicated than "give me that, it is mine," then you can be sure they did not come up with it. If we speculate that this is a tactic and it was not their idea, the next question is, who benefits from this? If you are a right-wing puppet master bureaucrat controlling events, how does this help your goals? Does it increase your base's confidence in Donald Trump as a great leader? Does a public argument portray American power and authority globally? No, it does not. I do not believe any of it. This is not a master plan. When you elect a reality television star, you get a reality television show. Petulant nonsense is the only thing Donald Trump has ever truly excelled at, and he cannot stay away from it. Story 127. I think handlers from both sides will likely step in and try to calm their bosses, but the rift was inevitable. I am only surprised it took this long. No, it is not a performance. It makes no sense if it is some ploy to try to get Elon Musk back in the left's good graces. But who knows with the Trump administration? Story 128. Yeah, Donald Trump got the richest person in the world to insinuate that he is a child predator to provoke the liberals. Story 129. I am certain. They want to distance that there is likely some truth to Elon Musk being upset about the tariffs, but regardless, he is still the double-saluting wannabe Nazi we now know him to be. Story 130. Why would anybody believe that? What could either of these two possibly stand to gain from pretending to fight in such an embarrassing manner? Elon Musk has already lost about $30 billion from his net worth during this downturn. If it is a performance, he clearly did not get the memo. Story 131. I believe politics in general is just one big performance. Both sides are involved. It is not left versus right. It is not Republican versus Democrat. It is citizen versus politician. The fact that we as citizens can look at our senators and our presidents and genuinely say they have our best interests at heart is nonsense. Story 132. I just don't understand why people who think this is all a ruse are so adamant that everyone else must think the same. If you want to believe that, then fine, but I disagree. I am not upset with people for not seeing it my way. Story 133. I would not be surprised. I also would not be surprised if it is only half performance, if that makes sense. They might genuinely be at odds and making a scene, but they will be friendly again when it suits them. Story 134. Could be just more distraction. Reminded me of South Park Season 12 Episode 12 about last night, where Barack Obama and John McCain were putting on a show in the 2008 election to cover up a heist. Story 135. The only acting and performance that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing is when they say they care about the United States and its citizens. They only care about furthering their wealth and influence. Story 136. My take is that he already knows he is not going to face any consequences for it because he has not so far. He could have had lawyers look into whether he would, so they get Elon to pull a big distraction while the others do something terrible or illegal. Why else would everyone keep using terms like surprising, shocking, revelation, etc.? We already know Trump and Epstein were associates. We know Trump is a rapist, and we know Trump would abuse his own daughter if given the chance. There is nothing new or surprising here. This is not what people need to be paying attention to. This is just a distraction. If their fallout is real, then it just shows that Elon knew all along that Trump was a pedophile on top of knowing he is a rapist, but he did not care because he got what he wanted, which makes him equally terrible. Story 137. I would give Elon an award for the things he is saying to Donald Trump. Epstein list, calling Bill Gates horrible, and other comments. I think everyone predicted this fallout months in advance. I wonder if Elon might fall out a window because of some Vladimir Putin associates. Donald Trump is going to owe Vladimir Putin again. Story 138. Donald Trump does not have the attention span for this sort of deception. Elon Musk might. It does not seem to be his modus operandi, though. He tends to be a lot more direct. Story 139. No, look at both of their histories. They are selfish, narcissistic individuals. They cry when they do not get what they want. Elon did not get what he wanted in this bill. Elon is complaining so much he is ready to throw away everything. Story 140. If it were a performance, there would be no mention of Epstein. It would be something else. Saying it is a performance is just a distraction. Story 141. That is giving these individuals far too much credit. Anyone who has spent a lot of time around a true narcissist saw this as the inevitable outcome. This is their modus operandi. They literally do not understand that they are not the center of the universe. Story 142. I don't think it's performative. You have two malignant narcissists who have been slighted by each other. Neither is going to let that slide out of fear of being seen as weak. Story 143. We, the general public, are often unaware and naive about the strategies of the powerful, wealthy, and famous. Here is a reminder. Celebrity feuds as purposeful public relations represent a strategic approach to building buzz. Celebrity feuds, or disputes, can be more than just personal disagreements. They can be a carefully planned public relations strategy designed to generate attention, shift public perception, and even enhance careers. Generating media coverage. Feuds, whether genuine or staged, attract media interest. They create compelling narratives that tabloids and gossip sites eagerly cover, keeping the celebrities involved in the news. Shifting public perception. A public dispute can allow celebrities to address controversies or redefine their public image. Increasing engagement. Feuds often spark debate among fans, leading to increased social media activity, fan interaction, and discussions about the celebrities involved. Elon Musk faced significant criticism and must undertake public relations recovery. Donald Trump has built his career on understanding how to manipulate the media. For these individuals, it is business as usual. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.